The silent rumor. The station lights flickered as the traders gathered in the smoke-filled lounge. Their voices were low, their words carried unease. They spoke of a strange shadow moving through the outer lanes. Some said it was a pirate fleet. Others whispered it was something worse. One old merchant leaned closer to his companions. His hands shook as he gripped a glass. "I saw it with my own eyes," he muttered. "A warship, huge and silent. But it carried human markings," the others laughed. But the laughter felt thin, strained. They all knew the humans had no such ships anymore. Humanity's fleets were modest, simple, and far from dangerous. The young alien officer named Krail listened from the corner. His sharp ears caught every detail. He was not supposed to be here. Officers of his rank did not sit with traitors, but his instincts told him this rumor carried weight. His people had fought humans once, long ago. They knew Earth well, and they knew humans did not build ships without purpose. "Impossible," one traitor barked, trying to calm his own nerves. "The Terrans never had a ship like that. It must be a ghost story. A tale to scare smugglers," but another voice, a hushed one, said, "Then how do you explain the wrecks? 3 patrol cruisers gone, their signals cut off in seconds, and only one shape seen before silence, a shadow with Terran lines." The officer's eyes narrowed. He thought of the academy lessons, of secret files spoken only in whispers. There had been talk of Earth building something long ago, something too dangerous to be tested, a machine meant to end wars before they began. But the records were locked, sealed as myths, dismissed by the council. Still, the words of these merchants matched those forbidden rumors too closely. As he left the lounge, the chatter followed him. "They say it has no crew," one voice said. "Only a will of its own," another added. "It doesn't fire unless challenged." But once it fires, nothing survives. Laughter again, nervous and short. The fear in their eyes betrayed their voices. Krail walked the metal corridors of the station. His boots echoed in the emptiness. His mind raced. He had to report. But who would believe him? His commanders would laugh. They would call it a tale of drunks and fools. Yet he felt it in his bones. The galaxy had stirred something it was not ready for. When he reached the communication hub, a red light blinked on the console. A distress signal. He froze. The code was old. Ancient even. It was Terran. "This should not exist," he whispered. Pressing the receiver, static filled the air. Then a broken voice crackled through. "This is patrol vessel Orin. We found it. It's real. The Terran ghost. It's..." The signal cut off. A long silence followed. The officer's heart pounded. He replayed the fragments again and again. The words chilled him. They had found it. It was real, meanwhile. In the heart of the station, more rumors spread. A freighter docked with hull burns not matching any known weapon. Its crew swore they were pursued by a ship that moved faster than any drive they had seen. They described its hull as dark as space, yet carved with the ancient symbol of Earth. Some laughed at them, others leaned in. Hungry for every detail, fear spread faster than trade deals. The words Terran ghost whispered in corridors, whispered in bunk rooms, whispered in dreams. The council chambers received the reports but dismissed them. Stories, one elder scoffed. Tales spun by men who drink too much. But when 3 more patrols went missing, their black boxes never recovered. Even the council grew quiet. Krail stood before his superior. He tried to explain what he had heard, what he had seen in the distress call, but the commander only smirked. "You chase shadows, officer. Humanity has no such power. Their time of warships ended centuries ago. They are a small world now." Nothing more, but Krail did not argue. He knew what he knew. He remembered the terror in the trader's voice. The broken signal of the Orin. The freighter's scarred hull. Rumors were not always lies. Sometimes they were warnings that night. As the station drifted along the quiet stars, the officer could not sleep. He looked out at the void and wondered if somewhere out there the ghost ship was watching, waiting. It was not the humans he feared. It was the silence of something vast, hidden and patient. He whispered to himself, "If this is true, the galaxy is not ready." His reflection in the viewport stared back, pale with fear. In the emptiness beyond, the stars burned cold and distant, and in that silence, he almost thought he saw it, just for a second, a shape darker than space itself. Sliding through the void, the forgotten past, the council chambers were quiet. Their tall windows looked out over the city lights of the capital world. Aliens of many species sat in a half-circle, their robes heavy with age and authority. They read the latest reports. 3 patrol fleets gone, 7 freighters missing, and dozens of whispered accounts of a Terran shadow. One elder adjusted his crest and spoke. "We must not fall for superstition," he said. "The humans are weak, their fleets are small. Their world is peaceful." He waved the reports away as if they were dust, but his hands trembled and the others saw it. Across the chamber, a historian rose. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were sharp. "The descriptions match something in our archives," she said, "an old project. Abandoned, or so we thought." She touched the screen, and ancient records flickered into view. The symbol of Earth, the old war seal, and beside it, a blueprint of a massive warship. The room fell silent. The ship was larger than any modern cruiser. Built with technology centuries ahead of its time, it carried weapons no one dared to imagine. Plasma arrays, rail cannons, energy barriers, engines designed to cross systems in minutes. Project Revenant, the historian whispered. The humans built it during their age of fear. They feared invasion. They feared extinction. They made a machine to fight wars they hoped would never come. The elders exchanged nervous glances. Some scoffed. "A myth," they said. "Earth could not have hidden such power." But others stared at the blueprint, unable to deny what they saw. Meanwhile, Officer Krail sat in the records hall. Scrolling through forgotten files, his instincts had led him here. He knew the council would bury the truth. He had to see it for himself. The deeper he went, the stranger the files became. Not reports, but warnings. "Do not disturb," one message read. "Do not awaken," another said. His skin prickled. He found a fragment of an old Terran broadcast. The screen crackled, showing a human in military uniform. The voice was calm but cold. "If the galaxy ever turns on Earth again, remember this: we may fall, but our ghosts will rise. Do not test us," the message ended. Leaving only silence, Krail leaned back. His heart thundered. It was true. The Terrans had built it. The warship was not myth, not rumor, but reality. A weapon buried in shadows. Waiting far from the capital in a small mining colony, a freighter captain told his story to a crowd. He spoke of a shape that appeared beside his ship. Silent and vast, he swore the stars bent around it. Its hull bore the old flag of Earth, a symbol no one had seen in generations. He begged the crowd to believe him, but most shook their heads still. The fear in his eyes planted seeds. Back in the council chamber, the debate raged. Some demanded immediate fleets to search and destroy the ghost. Others warned against it. "If it is what we think, we cannot fight it," said one. "We must speak with Earth." But Earth remained silent. Every signal sent to the blue world returned unanswered. As if humanity chose not to hear. Whispers spread through military ranks. Younger officers whispered of destiny. Older veterans remembered the first war with humanity and shuddered. They remembered how humans fought, relentless. Stubborn, unwilling to bow if they truly had such a ship. No empire could stand against it. Krail returned to his quarters. He stared at the fragment he had copied from the archives. The human voice echoed in his mind. "Our ghosts will rise." He thought of the patrol ship Orin, the broken voice that died before finishing its warning. The truth was heavier than he could carry, yet he knew it must be spoken that night. As the stars wheeled outside the viewport, Krail dreamed in his dream. The ghost ship glided through endless space, its weapons glowing faintly, not with fire but with patience. Waiting, he saw worlds bow before it, fleets burn around it, empires crumble under its shadow. He woke drenched in fear, his chest heavy. The rumors had become stories. The stories had become records. And now the records had become truth. The galaxy was not ready for what had been born from Earth's past. Krail whispered to the empty room. "It is not just a ship," he said. "It is a message." And far beyond the station, in the cold dark, something vast stirred, unseen but very real. First sight, the fleet drifted at the edge of the system. Dozens of cruisers, patrol ships, and carriers formed a tight wall of steel. Their engines burned in steady rhythm, scanners sweeping the dark. Each crew waited in silence, weapons primed. Their orders were simple: find the ghost. On the flagship's bridge, Commander Yelrick stood tall, his eyes locked on the star map. "No ship can pass without our notice," he said with forced confidence. Yet even he felt the weight in the air. Every officer whispered the same word in secret. Revenant hours passed with nothing but static. The crew grew restless. Some began to believe the rumors were just that, rumors. But then the lights flickered. A faint pulse ran through the scanners, so faint it almost seemed like a glitch. "Contact," a sensor officer whispered. His voice broke the silence. "Bearing. Unknown. It's behind us." The crew spun to their displays. The signal was there, close, impossibly close. No alarms had triggered, no engines had been heard. Yet something vast loomed behind their formation. The view screen shimmered as the fleet turned its eyes outward. At first there was nothing. Only the black sea of stars, then the stars bent. Space itself seemed to ripple. A shape emerged, slow and terrible. The Terran ghost ship slid from the darkness. Its hull darker than the void, edged with faint lines of light. The human crest marked its side. Old yet burning with power, it did not announce itself. It did not send signals, it simply existed. And its existence was enough. Gasps filled the bridge. "By the void," an officer muttered. "It's real." The ship was massive, larger than their carrier, moving without sound, without flame, as if it did not obey the same laws as their machines. Commander Yelrick gritted his teeth. "All ships hold formation," he ordered. His voice shook, but his pride kept him firm. "It will see we are not afraid." Yet in his heart, fear coiled. He felt like a child staring into the eyes of something ancient. The ghost ship drifted closer. No weapons fired, its engines gave no roar. Yet every ship in the fleet shuddered as if the void itself trembled. Lights flickered across its surface. "Like eyes opening for the first time, shall we hail it?" one officer asked. Yelrick hesitated. His finger hovered over the comm switch. But before he could decide, the ship acted not with weapons, not with violence, but with presence. A low hum filled the fleet's systems. The lights dimmed, engines sputtered, screens flickered to static. Every system in every ship cried out in protest. "EMP surge," a technician shouted, but no source, no frequency, it's everywhere at once. The ghost ship glided past the first line of cruisers. Their weapons locked, targeting reticles flashing red. But no one fired. The crews froze, instinct telling them that to strike first would mean annihilation. For a moment, the massive vessel hovered in front of the flagship. Its shadow swallowed their view. It was like staring at the face of a forgotten god. Then, without warning, the stars bent again. The ship dissolved into the void. Gone as if it had never been there. Silence filled the bridge. Only the echoes of alarm tones remained. The fleet remained frozen. Men and women stared at their screens, their hands trembling. The commander finally exhaled. His voice broke. "What are we facing?" Minutes later, reports poured in. Several ships had lost power entirely. Others drifted with fried circuits. Yet no one had been attacked. No one destroyed. It was as if the ghost ship had come only to be seen, to remind them of its presence. In the council chamber far away, the first visuals arrived. Grainy recordings of the black vessel sliding past fleets like a predator among prey. The elders sat pale and wordless, the historian whispered. "Project Revenant lives." Whispers turned to shouts. Some demanded war, others demanded surrender. Fear tore through the chamber, but one truth was clear. No one laughed at the rumors now. Krail stood at the edge of the hall. His heart hammered as he watched the recordings. He remembered the human voice in the archive. "Our ghosts will rise." Now he knew the meaning. It was not just a threat, it was a promise, and across the galaxy, in hidden corners and darkened rooms, the stories spread like wildfire. The ghost ship had shown itself, and the galaxy was not ready. The test of fire. The council could no longer ignore the truth. A fleet had seen it. Recordings had confirmed it. The Terran ghost ship was real, and fear was spreading like fire across every world. In response, the Empire gathered one of its strongest armadas, 50 ships of war commanded by Admiral Valar. His reputation was sharp, his pride sharper. He did not believe in ghosts, only in power. As the armada entered the empty system, the crews whispered. Some prayed, some sharpened their knives. All wondered if they would live to see another sunrise. "Formation locked," the helmsman said. "Weapons charged." The admiral stood tall at the center of his flagship. His voice carried across every ship. "This Terran shadow will learn today that we are not afraid, but deep inside," even he felt the tremor in his chest. The recordings had shown too much. A ship that moved like darkness itself. For hours nothing appeared. The fleet scanned every corner of the system. Then, like before, the stars bent, space rippled, and there it was, the ghost. It slid into view without a sound. its hull black and endless, its engines glowing faintly with power that no one understood. It did not rush, it did not hide, it simply existed, daring them to act. "Target it," the admiral ordered. The fleet locked weapons. The flagship's cannons hummed with energy. "Fire," he commanded, the void lit with fury. Missiles, plasma beams, and rail shots streaked through the dark. Every weapon the Empire had unleashed in one storm. The impacts shook space. Explosions lit the hull of the ghost ship. For a moment, hope rose. But as the fire cleared, the ghost ship remained. Its hull shimmered with faint light, shields that had absorbed everything. Not a scar marked its surface, gasps filled the fleet. The admiral clenched his fists. "Again," he roared. More fire, more fury. But the result was the same. The warship moved forward through the storm as if walking through rain. Then it answered, its cannons lit with white fire. A single beam cut through the nearest cruiser. The ship split apart in silence. No time for screams, just wreckage drifting. Another shot followed, precise, surgical. 2 destroyers gone in seconds. The Ghost did not spray fire wildly. It struck with precision, each shot chosen, each target erased with terrifying calm. It was not rage. It was demonstration. Panic spread. "Our shields are useless," one captain cried. "Our armor is nothing," another screamed. But the admiral forced them to fight. Pride chained him to command. "We are not prey." "We will not run," he shouted. The armada answered with desperate fire, but every strike failed. The ghost ship weaved through them with grace. Its weapons cut lines through the formation. Each movement planned, each strike final. One captain, a young alien woman named Sorrel, broke formation. Her ship turned away, not to flee but to test. She fired her last missile directly at the Ghost's engines. The explosion was bright, but when the smoke cleared, the Ghost still moved, untouched in return. The Terran ship did not destroy her instead. It aimed close and fired near her hull. A warning shot. Her ship spun from the shockwave but survived. She gasped, realizing it could have killed me. But it chose not to. Across the fleet, others noticed the same. The ghost ship was not hunting. It was showing them, teaching them, reminding them of something they had forgotten. Finally, with half the armada burning, the admiral gave the command no one expected. "Retreat," he said. His voice cracked as he spoke the word. The survivors turned their ships and fled, engines screaming. The ghost ship did not follow. It drifted in silence, watching, then it vanished, folding back into the dark. When the survivors returned, the story spread across the galaxy. The armada had been crushed, not destroyed entirely, but broken like glass, and the ghost ship had let them live. Some said it was mercy, others said it was worse than death, for it meant the Terrans were in control. They could end fleets whenever they wished. But they chose instead to remind. Krail listened to the reports. His chest heavy with dread, he understood now. The ghost ship was not just a weapon, it was a warning. A voice from Earth's forgotten past echoing across the stars. And still one question burned in his mind. If this was only one ship, what else had humanity hidden in the dark? The message in the dark, the news spread faster than light. The armada had fallen, 50 ships shattered, yet not all destroyed. The survivors carried their fear back to their worlds. And with them came whispers. The ghost ship was not hunting for conquest. It had struck hard, but it had spared many. Some called it mercy, others called it cruelty. For what enemy shows its power and then allows its prey to live? On the trade lanes, captains told the tale in hushed tones. They spoke of its black hull and white fire. They swore it could appear anywhere, anytime. Some said it traveled not with engines, but with will alone. It came and went like a shadow. On distant colonies, children drew pictures of it, naming it the Terran Ghost. Entire cities lit candles at night. Fearful of its gaze, the galaxy trembled without a shot being fired. Krail sat in the records hall again, his hands restless as he scrolled through the old human files. He had seen the recordings. He had heard the panic of survivors. But he searched for meaning, not fear. At last he found it. A sealed message buried deep. It was from Earth itself, dated centuries ago. The file flickered to life. A human officer stood tall, scarred but calm. His voice carried the weight of finality. If the galaxy ever forgets, he said, if it ever turns its hand against Earth, remember this, we gave one warning, only one. Our ghosts will carry it for us. The message ended with the Terran crest. Bright against the dark, Krail sat frozen. The words cut deeper than any weapon. The ghost ship was not a myth or a monster. It was a promise humanity had made long ago, and now it walked the stars again. In the council chambers, panic consumed the elders. Some demanded peace talks with Earth, others demanded fleets to surround the blue planet, but Earth remained silent. No response came. No words, no signals, only silence, and that silence was louder than war. On military outposts, soldiers muttered in fear. If they had one ship like this, they whispered, then how many more sleep beneath their oceans? How many more wait in their mountains, in their moons? What else has Earth hidden? Admiral Valar, shamed by his retreat, spoke in secret. He admitted to his closest aides. It chose its targets carefully. It could have ended us all, but it wanted us to see. It wanted us to remember. His aides trembled. Knowing his pride had been broken forever, the ghost ship appeared again days later. This time not near fleets, but near a mining world. It hovered in orbit. Silent, no weapons firing, for hours it remained, its shadow covering the settlements. Then suddenly, every communicator on the planet activated at once. A voice filled the air, a human voice, low and steady. Do not forget Earth, it said. The words repeated 3 times. Then silence. The ship vanished. The miners fell to their knees. Some prayed, some wept, some cursed the skies, but all remembered the message, and within days, the words had traveled across the galaxy. Merchants carried it. Soldiers repeated it. Spies confirmed it. The Terran ghost had spoken. Humanity's warning lived again. In hidden corners, some empires began to crumble. Leaders questioned their strength. Fleets refused to move near Terran space. Alliances cracked under the weight of fear. For who could fight a ghost that struck like thunder and vanished like mist? Krail walked the silent halls of the academy. His fellow officers spoke his name now with respect, for he had believed when others had laughed, yet even he felt no triumph, only dread. He replayed the old human message in his mind. Our ghosts will carry it for us, he now understood. The ship was not only weapon, it was messenger. A shadow of Earth's past made to remind the galaxy of its choice. That night, looking out at the void, Krail whispered, the galaxy thought humanity was weak, but humanity remembers, and humanity does not forgive. And somewhere in the darkness, unseen, the ghost ship drifted, its engines silent, its weapons cold. Yet its presence weighed on every living soul across the stars. A message in the dark that no one could ignore. The galaxy trembles. The galaxy was no longer the same. Every world, every port, every fleet whispered the same word, Terran. The ghost ship had spoken, and its message carried more weight than 1,000 armadas. Governments panicked. Some worlds built new defenses. Others abandoned their borders altogether. Fleets were recalled from distant wars. Alliances fractured as leaders accused one another of provoking Earth. In the halls of the great empires, leaders gathered in secret. They argued, shouted, and blamed. Yet beneath their words lay the same truth. They were afraid. For centuries, the galaxy had mocked Earth, ignored it, pushed it aside as weak. Now one ship had undone centuries of arrogance. On a desert colony, a farmer told his children to sleep early, his voice shaking as he repeated the ghost's warning. Do not forget Earth. In a mining city on the rim, men and women prayed to the stars, asking forgiveness from a world they had never seen. On a capital world, soldiers refused to march, saying they would not be sent to die against ghosts. Everywhere, paranoia bloomed. Spies hunted records of ancient battles with humans. Digging for secrets, they found evidence of betrayals long forgotten. Wars started in greed, promises broken. The galaxy began to realize perhaps Earth had not forgotten after all. Meanwhile, Earth remained silent. Their diplomats said nothing. Their broadcasts carried only simple music and trade schedules. It was as if humanity had nothing to prove. They did not threaten, they did not explain, and that silence was worse than war. In the military academies, cadets trained with unease. Their instructors barked orders, but fear lay in their eyes. They had seen the recordings, the black hull sliding through fleets, the white fire tearing ships apart. How could they fight what did not die? Krail found himself summoned to a high council. He stood before the elders as they questioned him. You studied the records, one said. You heard the old Terran warnings, another pressed. Tell us, what does humanity want? Krail swallowed hard. He could not give them comfort. His voice was steady but low. They do not want war, he said. If they wanted war, we would already be ash and dust. The chamber shifted with uneasy silence. He continued. They want us to remember. They want us to know they are not weak. And they never were. The elders leaned back. Their faces pale, none of them dared argue in the stars. The ghost ship appeared again. Not to fleets, but to cities. It hovered above a water world for 3 hours, never firing, never moving. Its shadow covered oceans. Its reflection shimmered across waves. The people fell to their knees, terrified. Then, all at once, every communicator on the planet rang. The same words echoed as before. Do not forget Earth. The ship vanished again, leaving silence behind. That night, thousands fled their cities. They believed the ghost would return. They believed it would punish them for sins long buried. Fear alone was enough to break them. Admiral Valar, once proud, now sat in a dark office. His fleet ruined, his honor shattered. He whispered to his staff, "The Terrans do not need fleets. They do not need armies, they only need one ship. One ghost." His voice cracked as he admitted the truth. Even mighty empires trembled. Whole governments debated surrender to Earth without a single shot fired. Others spoke of appeasement, offering tribute to avoid its wrath. And still, Earth said nothing. Their silence was louder than any declaration. Krail returned to his station. He walked among officers who now avoided his eyes. They whispered that he was cursed, for he had been the first to believe. Yet deep down he knew he was right. Humanity had set a shadow over the galaxy, and the galaxy would never escape it. He sat at his console, gazing into the dark. He thought of the message again and again. Do not forget Earth. He wondered what had truly awakened the ghost. Was it chance, was it a warning, or was it the beginning of something larger? And as he wondered across distant stars, the ghost ship moved silently, always watching, never speaking beyond its single command. Entire fleets trembled at its shadow. Entire worlds shook at its silence. The galaxy had faced wars, invasions and tyrants before, but never this. Never a ghost from Earth's past, reminding them that power does not die. It waits, and still the question haunted every mind. If humanity could create one ghost, how many more still waited to rise? The truth revealed, the galaxy held its breath. Rumors had become terror. Fleets had been broken. Cities had been shadowed. Governments trembled under silence. And still the ghost ship moved, unstoppable. On the rim of known space, the vessel appeared once more, not near a fleet, not near a colony, but an open void waiting, as if it had chosen this place for something greater. Every major empire turned its eyes to that system. Satellites, drones, and hidden scouts all recorded. The galaxy's fear and curiosity collided. Krail was aboard a listening post. His heart pounded as the signal came alive. The ghost ship hovered in darkness, still as stone. Then lights shimmered across its hull, lines glowing faintly like veins of fire. For the first time, it spoke, a human voice, deep and steady, rolled across every channel. It reached colonies, fleets, and capitals all at once. No distortion, no weakness, the voice was clear. We warned you once, it said, you did not listen. The galaxy froze. In every chamber and home, beings leaned closer, hearts hammering. The voice continued, Earth does not seek war. Earth does not seek conquest, but Earth remembers. The words carried weight like gravity. You thought us weak, you thought us broken, yet we endure. And our ghosts endure with us. Krail gripped the console. His breath shallow. He knew these words would etch themselves into history. The ghost ship drifted forward. Its weapons glowed, but it did not fire. Instead, a projection filled the skies of every world. A vision of Earth, blue oceans, green lands, the human crest burning bright. The message was not only heard, it was seen. The voice thundered again. Do not forget Earth, do not test Earth. For one ghost is enough to remind the stars what humanity is. Silence followed. And in that silence, fleets faltered, rulers wept, soldiers dropped their weapons. Children clung to parents as they stared at the image of the distant blue world. Then, just as suddenly as it had come, the projection faded. The ghost ship shimmered and space bent. Within seconds it was gone, vanished into the void, leaving nothing behind but fear and silence. Across the galaxy, chaos erupted. Some leaders begged for peace treaties with Earth. Others demanded stronger defenses, but their voices shook. Merchants refused to trade near Terran borders. Colonists abandoned outer systems. Entire empires bent under the weight of a single voice. Admiral Valar, broken by shame, spoke quietly to his staff. This was never war, he admitted. It was memory, humanity's memory, and now it is ours too. His words spread like wildfire. In the council chambers, the elders sat pale and defeated. They had once laughed at humans, mocked their myths, dismissed their strength. Now they understood too late. Earth did not need to conquer. Earth only needed to remind. Krail stood alone at the viewport of his station. He stared into the endless dark, his reflection pale against the stars. He whispered, "One ship shook the galaxy, and it was not even war, it was a warning." His hands tightened on the railing. "If they have more, then none of us are safe." The galaxy waited. Every fleet paused, every world looked to the skies, wondering if another ghost would appear, wondering if Earth had unleashed only the first of many. And on Earth itself the people remained silent. Their oceans calm, their skies clear. Their leaders said nothing. The blue world turned quietly under its sun, holding its secrets, but somewhere in the shadows of space, unseen by all, another hull stirred, another ghost waking from its slumber, waiting for the moment it too would rise. The galaxy would never sleep again. Not while Earth's ghosts drifted in the dark.